All right, let's try this again. Less than 24 hours after the Edmonton Oilers were shut out, I repeat, shut out by the Montreal Canadiens, they're in the nation's capital for a meeting with the Ottawa Senators. Hello and welcome to Pre-Gaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the giant for a reason. First comment of the day comes in from QF Pro, who says, everyone's still at work, but working graveyard shift has its perks sometimes, as he gets to pregame with the boys. An earlier version of pre-gaming today. They say 4 p.m. too early. No. We're ready to go. We got our odd company beers. Percy Not Jackson's in. Says, I'm on my way to the game, which we, the three of us, then went, Percy lives in Ottawa? I did not know that. Makes sense why you're in this chat all the time, Percy. Have a great time tonight. Austin's in with a simple, Waz, read that one for me.
Let's go.
You're damn right, Austin, because we need a win bad. Rusty's in. Let's go, Oilers. Ryan Smith's nose just said, and I'll read this one. My name is Yev. And Aaron, who is coming at irons everywhere, says the Oilers lose 100%. Love the optimism today, Aaron. I will bring more than that this evening. I am joined by the one, the only, the legend of the TikTok, Matthew Wozniak. The Woz. How we doing, Woz?
We're feeling good. We forgot about last night. That game did not happen.
I
It's
said
over with. We're moving on.
The one bonus to having a game less than 24 hours later is if you put out such a dog shit effort as that was, you can literally bury it, move along very quickly. We've also tonight, you hear his voice, the return of producer Brett Holden. How we doing, my boy?
Not bad. I can also say that I had ball hockey last night, and I only got to watch the first period, which was pretty good if you ask me.
You didn't need to watch more than that. You're good.
Exactly.
You're good.
I'm happy with what I got.
Not as good as the Edmonton Oilers, right?
9-3 loss.
There you go.
That happens to the best.
But as Brett does always show me, the bruises all over his body. I think he's being abused. No, he's just blocking shots like his idol, Vinny Desharnais. So we've got a little bit of a more free-flowing pre-gaming, I'd say, today. We got an earlier show, a little bit of rushed. We had some producer meetings, some clip requirements, a show yesterday. But we're ready to roll in. Waz, you actually... My boy came prepared today with notes. He shared a document with me that's it's got some good nuggets of information in there.
Is that Sean Banks?
Right? Putting Sean Banks to shame, brother. We got a competitor.
It's crazy what happens when I try.
Yeah, you also wore a very nice sweater, and I like your hair today.
Thank you.
I noticed at the moment you walked in, I said, that boy is ready to pregame tonight. But before we talk about the game tonight, we will talk about some news we got earlier this afternoon for the Edmonton Oilers, as the Oilers claimed Kasperi Kapanen from the St. Louis Blues. Suck it, Doug Armstrong. We can get you back just like you got us. Maybe we'll have to pick up another player off waivers, and hopefully they're as good as one Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg. Kapanen, though, 28 years young, as I prefer to say, as I am 29. He's only appeared in 10 games so far this season. He's got one goal. He has 11 shots in those 10 games played. He averaged just over 11 minutes of ice a single night. Now, I don't know. What do you guys think about the move? Let me know in the chat what you guys thought as well, because I heard the news. I went, I know the name. Haven't heard the name in a very long time. And you look through his stats. His last 20-goal season was an 18-19 with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but he did score 8 goals in 23 games and back in 22-23. Sorry, I misspoke. So I guess furthermore for need to know, the Oilers have now added him to the roster, which means they are no longer accruing cap space. Evander Kane is officially back on LTIR. So the Oilers have a full 23-man roster, including Victor Arvidsson and one Darnell Nurse. Well, as I'm curious, your thoughts on the move, because I mean, he's an okay player, whatever. I'm sure he'll be playing 8-9 minutes a night. If he does play, he won't tonight, but he is meeting his team in Ottawa. My initial reaction was, oh no, the Victor Arvidsson injury might be more severe than Chris Knobloch has let on. He's been doing a weird dance with this Victor Arvidsson thing.
Yeah.
Said on Thursday he'd be back on the weekend. Well, that was 3 games ago. So I don't know. Your thoughts on adding Kasperi Kapanen?
Well, I'm kind of not surprised considering I think it was Jeff Merrick on Oilers Nation Everyday a couple weeks ago saying how the Oilers were looking to add a little bit more speed to their bottom six. So maybe this is the addition. Other than that, I mean, his underlying numbers are not great. If you want to believe in those, he does bring speed to the bottom six. That's about it. But maybe a good change of scenery for Kapanen will be good. Maybe just having some confidence from the coaching staff saying, hey, we trust you. We know you can play in the bottom six. We know what your role is. Go out there, show us what you can do. And apparently the Oilers reportedly had interest in acquiring Kapanen 4 years ago at the deadline. So it was about time.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes. I see Rudy's in, says there is potential. Percy, interested to see how he fits with our group. And Maynard said he'll be back on waivers within a week. Brett, I'm curious your thoughts because, right, like the Edmonton Oilers right now, beggars can't be choosers. Your wingers have probably scored the least amount of goals in the entire NHL, or at least it feels like that right now. So I'm not totally against bringing a guy with NHL pedigree, 20 goals before. Don't expect him to score 20 goals, but like you said, you throw him in the bottom six, limited ice time, keep it simple, stupid, I guess I could say. Kiss, I'm not calling him stupid, but Brett, your thoughts, Kasperi Kapanen?
I don't mind it. I think as Tyler said on O&E today, he said, like, it's a risk-free move.
Yeah.
Like,
The only thing's the money. But whatever.
yeah, but he makes what, $1 million? Like it's $1 million.
But not that we're not accruing.
No, and that's fine. Sure, whatever. I think accruing at this moment was still almost a luxury. That's fine. It's not a need for this team. And if it doesn't work, you can, like Maynard said, put him on waivers. Yeah, see ya. And like I think Tyler said on O&E again today, he's like, well, what are the odds that STL is just going to pick him back up and put him in the wave on in the minors? Excuse me. So
you think you can get us? You can't get us.
No, but again, risk-free move. Add speed. Has been able to score at this level. Played with guys like Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner as well. So has the ability to play with pedigree as well. So play with players who have pedigree is what I'm trying to say there. No, I don't hate it. Excited to see what's going on or what he has going. I like the speed, bottom six time, whatever it may be. Let's see how it works out.
I like the speed because I think that's one thing all fans can agree. The Oilers lacking a little bit comparative to last season. So who knows? Rusty's in and says, we sure are an optimistic bunch right now. Bo, bring in Kapanen, send down Derek Ryan, and bring up Philp. Bottom six speed. Yeah, I don't hate that. And Mr. Burns says, team optimist reporting for duty. Some people also said they've already forgotten about what happened last night. It was just a bad dream. I see, who was it? Avi Hoffman is in the chat asking for line combos. We'll let you know in just a bit here. We're waiting for final late breaking news. I have seen some tweets. We do know some things, but wait for the need to know information. Because as I said, there's no time to dwell on what happened last night, but we sure can dwell on it as guys running a YouTube show right now. I hope the players aren't, and they have completely flipped that page, but you get shut out 3-0 by the Montreal Canadiens. I'm curious your guys' thoughts because sitting here last night felt like pulling teeth for the good boom performers. You notice I didn't say hot performers. It is boom performers, but the Oilers had terrible puck possession in their own end. Could not get pucks out cleanly. They had stagnant, floating, puck-watching offense, and that includes with the man advantage. The power play was basically a momentum killer last night. Now, the penalty kill actually went 2 for 2, one of the few positives, as we've now killed off 10 in a row. But lately it feels like if it's not one thing, it's another. Last night, you got great penalty kill. You got good goaltending from your backup goaltender in Calvin Pickard. And you still couldn't beat the 30th ranked team in the NHL. You couldn't score a goal. Now, and I found out the boys went out in Montreal the night before and were partying. I could at least understand that, but I don't think they were out on the town getting the Montreal flu, is what Nation Dan called it today. That'd be the only explanation that I do understand, as we are pre-gaming right now, but not surprising to anyone was the chat last night, super spicy. Curious your thoughts on the Oilers' effort.
Oh, the effort was putrid to say the least. The offense is the lack of goal scoring is puzzling to me as they have the highest shots for percentage at 5v5 in the NHL, courtesy of Jason Greger, Oilersnation.com. They've also been shut out now 3 times in 19 games. Yeah. This team is frankly just, I feel like it's missing its identity. and its identity is to score goals, high offense. And if you want to win in today's NHL, you have to score goals. Simple as that. Look at some of the scores around the league over the last few weeks. A lot of the winning teams are scoring 3 or 4 goals a game to win or more. And we have barely seen that from the Edmonton Oilers this season. So far this year, other than Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, no other Oilers forward has more than 5 goals. 4 forwards with 3 goals, 2 with no goals. Derek Ryan, put Colson. Nugent-Hopkins is getting paid $5 million plus and has 1 goal. Sorry, Nuge. I don't want to take shots at you. I love you, but the opposite.
No, we're getting to that point now. We're at that point. So yeah, I'd agree with that. There you get a good look at the point leaders. The fact that you have 3 defensemen in your top 5.
Yes.
Brett, get that off the screen. I don't even want to look at that. That makes me disgusted to look at. And the story last night, the story all season, has been the lack of finish for the Edmonton Oilers as the offense blanked yet again. You just said it. The 3rd time they have been shut out already this season. 19 games, 3 for 19. It just doesn't even seem possible. RNH last night, 5 shots on goal. Zach Hyman, he had 4, and both of them arguably had the best chances for the Edmonton Oilers all game. Zach Hyman, Connor McDavid made the highlight reel play in the offensive zone, puts it on a platter for one Zach Hyman, cross ice for the one-timer, and he 100% fanned on the puck as it slid past him. You saw the frustration from Connor McDavid smashing his stick on the boards, and that was in the first period, which is something we don't see that often, but I totally get the frustration from 97 because, as you just mentioned, his line mates are not up to par. They are not doing enough. Nuge, 1 goal, 7 assists in 19 games. 8 points in 19 games. How are you still on the first line? How is Jeff Skinner on the 4th? We'll unpack that a little bit more. Hyman, yes, he's been around it, and he's been getting his shots on goal, but he only has 3 goals this year. But it is kind of tough because he's been doing all the right things. He's fighting it, plain and simple. But the thing about Hyman that I said there that's frustrating is all of his opportunities look like the exact same as last season, the same chances, just way less puck luck. Like last year, we saw him put home that one-timer 9 times out of 10. It is just not happening right now, and this applies to pretty much every single winger on this roster right now. But Nuge and Hyman are playing with number 97, and I get it. You give them, a grace period. Well, we're 19 games in right now, and we simply need more. Waz, if you're playing with 97, you better produce, or somebody else deserves a shot.
I agree with you. And like you said, we're not seeing a lot of that out of Zach Hyman, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Players are getting a lot of chances with Connor McDavid. And last year we did see, Zach Hyman, a lot of his goals came in the paint. He knew where to be. The puck was landing at his feet. He was just scoring goals every time the puck would end up on a stick. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, just good facilitator of the puck. Always, he's just intelligent. He knows where to be. He's a coach's favorite player. But it's just, there is a part of it where the Oilers have been a little unlucky, I think. There is a little bit of that factor, but it's just we're not seeing the same, I guess, moments from players like Zach Hyman later. Like Zach Hyman's trying to do the same thing he did last year. I'm just going to sit by the park myself by the net. Hopefully the puck comes my way. I'll put it in the net. It's not happening. Simple as that.
One way that you can score goals, I don't know if you knew, was the power play.
Yeah.
You actually have one more guy on the ice than the opposition. I know. Late breaking news, everybody. Try and keep up. But arguably the power play has been the most confusing part of a very confusing season. They currently rank 24th in the NHL at 16.3%. And last night specifically might have been the worst effort I've seen them with the man advantage all year. There was so much standing around, just watching 97 skating around while all other 4 skaters just literally not moving their feet. And that applies to both PP1 and power play 2. It's a lot of puck watching, kind of being like, well, we expect the Habs will just let one in, and keeping that perimeter offense. The word perimeter was used a ton last night. And I mentioned it, McDavid, he's cooking lately. He's got the speed. He's got the sauce. He's doing his thing. But everybody else just stagnant. Their chances last night, I wouldn't use the word high danger with any single one of them. They were shots from the point that even from the side walls, I feel like Leon Draisaitl was just hanging by the faceoff dot more towards the boards more than anyone. And last night it was shoot up from the points, watch it hit a body, go into the corner, and then the Habs would execute the clean breakout and get it out of the zone. Not nearly good enough, Matthew.
I would agree. And one player I'm kind of wondering right now about, why isn't Jeff Skinner getting more ice time? Why is he being punished? Why is he on the fourth line with Derek Ryan? I'm just saying, this is a guy currently who has the second most shots for the Edmonton Oilers with 53. The most shots for the Edmonton Oilers this year comes from Connor McDavid with 57. Another thing with Jeff Skinner here, he has created 11 rebounds. Like, this is a guy who wants to score. He knows how to score. I understand his back checking is not great. I know his defensive game is not great. We knew that about Jeff Skinner coming to this year, but he can score, and he's not being given enough opportunities to play with the top guys like a Connor McDavid, like a Leon Draisaitl. And you look at someone like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. We know he has history with Connor McDavid, and that's why he's sticking with Connor McDavid, because the coach is like, oh, we know he's done that in the past, and there's a larger sample size together, but you got to let them cook for maybe 4 games together. Just give it some time. We've been a little bit impatient with the lines.
Now you are going 11-7, so you're going to get a little bit more blending than usual. But that same logic was applied to Podzilla and Victor Arvidsson. Stable them to Leon, let them find their consistency and find their chemistry. They did. Well, right now on the top line, the wingers, they're not scoring at all. Yes, they're getting their chances. I mentioned Nuge had 5 shots yesterday. Hyman had 4, but it has been this way for way too long. Nuge, 1 goal. Hyman, 3 goals. Vasily Podkolzin even, while we love his play, we love his energy, we love his physicality, this is a results-based league, and he has 0 goals in the top 6 right now. And Jeff Skinner, he has 3 to compare to the other side. Well, barely playing, and he's found a way to produce in those limited minutes with much lesser skill in one Derek Ryan on that fourth line. Yet he still remains in the doghouse. Skin Dog last night hit a shot prop, the only bet that I hit all night, plus 132 juice. Did it in 12 minutes of ice time, but I understand, Nobby, you're hesitant to put him on that spot because you cannot reward his lacking defensive game, his back checking, his speed, his inability to be physical. But you brought this dude in to score goals. Your team is currently not scoring goals. So why don't we try playing him with guys who can help him score said goals? I feel like this has got to be rocket science, or I'm taking crazy pills right now, because Podzilla's been in that top 6 all year now based off of effort. And while that is totally fine, he still hasn't scored yet. If you don't want to replace Nuge on the top line, I feel like that's a spot with Pods you could maybe do. Or even Corey Perry on that fourth line. I've said this for games in a row now. We keep blowing leads, not scoring enough goals. Yeah, we sit here with no changes. And my point being was 20 games. Tonight will be game 20. Is more than long enough of a leash for your top wingers in that top 6 to try something new. Jeff Skinner, Brett, I'm curious your thoughts as well, because we just asked am I taking crazy pills, or is this rocket science?
No, I think what we're seeing a lot of, and I hate making excuses, but I think we're seeing growing pains. We're seeing a lot of guys, new positions, new spots. And the old guys are meeting these new guys, and now you have to find chemistry. Like when you had Warren Fogle, Ryan McLeod, you had those guys that were in your organization for a couple of years. You had guys who were familiar with what.
But I'll stop you right there. That doesn't apply to Nugent Hyman. So
yes, but I'm talking about Jeff Skinner is what I'm saying, and how this brings you into these players is that Nugent Hyman are playing at times with new players that they haven't played with yet. And this is growing pains. You are not going to be able to understand where a player is going to be 99% of the time if you don't play with them quite often. We've seen line juggling here and there and all that. And as we said last year, how it was nice to have that luxury to be able to. They were able to have that luxury because they were able to play together for a while. They haven't played together for a while. And all this coming back to, I think they have growing pains. And when it comes to Nuge and Hyman, yes. Is it a slow start? Are they veterans on this team? Yes. Is it frustrating? Yes. No, you're going to hate to hear it, but we got to play it out. You got to wait it out. I know there's a long season. We're on game.
We've been playing it out for 19 games right now.
Yes, I understand that. There still is a lot of season to go, and it's not like this team is 0-2 19 or
we are
whatever the
above
hell.
500.
You're above 500. You're in a playoff race, and I put that in quotes because it's game fucking 20. Like, let's be honest here. If we're being real, like, there's time for shit to start hitting the fan, but there's also time for shit to start hitting the wall and sticking and say, okay, this is working now.
But that would be my point, that nothing is working right now. So this would be the time to switch that up and try some new chemistry. Because we clearly see 19 games. Nuge has 1 goal.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Yes, I don't agree with you.
That needs to be punished. And if Jeff Skinner's getting punished for the same things, and I get it though, Nuge has earned that. He has earned that, whatever leash you want to give him. But right now, I don't know. We can table it right there. I see some people. We'll find out tonight. We are once again expected to go 11-7. And we did see last night, Jay Skinner played minutes on the 4th line. He played on the 3rd line. He played on the 2nd line. He played on the 1st line. And as I said, he did hit a shot prop. Positive, though, right now is the Edmonton Oilers penalty kill. Can you believe it? What I just said? Well, can you believe this? The Oilers no longer have the league's worst penalty kill. Clap it up. Clap it up, everybody. Wrap it up. They have surpassed the Detroit Red Wings and now sport a 67.35 penalty kill percentage. And they did it last night against a very good unit in the Montreal Canadiens who ranked in the top 10. And they didn't allow a ton. The first kill was actually executed with Connor Brown in the penalty box, who has been one of your better killers this season. It takes an entire team to turn this thing around. It takes a village to get this thing above 60%. And right now it is working. You see dudes buying in. You see guys blocking shots. You see them clearing bodies in front of the net. The one thing I can say Josh Brown did admirable last night was he was physical in front of the net, getting in those bodies, trying to clear that blue paint. And then on top of that, when they get their chances to get the puck out, it seems like they're taking a breath, not panicking, taking a moment to try and find that lane to get the puck out, clear it out, and go make a clear, concise, totally solid change, get a new unit out there. And I would argue lately, now, we have won some of our last couple of games, but you've blown 3rd period leads. Yeah. Offense hasn't been great. Goaltending hasn't been great. For the last 5, dare I say, the Oilers PK is the one very, very bright spot right now.
Well, it's terrible to start the year, and it's one of the reasons why the Oilers were losing games was the PK. You weren't really getting saves from the PK, and the players just seemed a little, I guess, out of touch, just not in sync on the PK like we were kind of used to seeing in the playoffs. But to be honest, in the playoffs, they went out on an absolute heater on the PK, so it's hard to match that. But it's a good sign that the PK is warming up. It's playing like how it should be, and we have players who know how to play on that. My boy Derek Ryan, that's where he succeeds, I think.
Yeah, you keep thinking that. Yeah, you keep thinking that. The Ottawa Senators tonight, that's the opponent. They are 8-3 on the year, 4-5-1 in their last 10 games played. However, they are above 500 on home ice. And would you look at that graphic? Every single major category, while the Ottawa Senators lead the Edmonton Oilers. And just saying that sentence out loud, that hurt. That hurt my soul and insides. Last year, or this is their first meeting of the season. Last year, both teams went 1-1. The Oilers beat them 3-1 on January 6th. Stuart Skinner got the start in that one, but they did lose 5-3 at the Canadian Tire Center on March 24th with Calvin Pickard in the crease for that one. And I don't know, Ottawa's a team that feels like they have been perpetually looking to make noise. It just hasn't happened this year. 8-1, you see it right there, 500 percentage right now, and it's been better. There is pieces now. As you looked in the offseason, they signed or traded for their big goaltender in one, Linus Ullmark, a former Vezina winner. They seem to have a much better balanced attack. They got Josh Norris actually healthy. Brady Tkachuk, Stützle's having a great season, and they're looking to make a name for themselves this year.
Yeah, they're an interesting team. They got a nice little top 6 on paper. Brady Tkachuk, Josh Norris, Claude Giroux's in there, Tim Stützle, Drake Batherson. I'm looking on Daily Faceoff's website right here. On the back end, you got Jake Sanderson, Artem Zub, Tom Chabot. This is not a bad team on paper, but I'll be honest, I don't watch a lot of Ottawa Senators hockey, so it's hard to judge a little bit. But in the same breath, I think it was Coombsy who wrote it in the game notes how this is a team that's kind of in their own little decade of darkness.
Yep.
Like, when was the last time they made the playoffs?
7 years.
7 years, right? So
They ain't got nothing on us.
yeah, hey, they're inching there, but you would think for a team like of this caliber that they'd be, fighting for, top 2 in the division. And I like Tim Stützle. I've always liked him, but if anything, it feels like they've barely progressed since the last time the Oilers faced them in the Canadian division, where we swept them 9 games in a row,
9-0.
right? So it's interesting. I mean, you got some veteran forwards in there like David Perron as well, who's made his way there. Zach McEwen can really toss a punch, I believe. So you would expect more from a lineup like this.
Yeah, and like you bring in veterans, like you mentioned there, and a Claude Giroux, I think, has been an integral part to that squad. See, Bob Stoffer's in. Says everyone on the Sens has bought in. They're gonna be tough. All right, speaking of tough, ho, 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 holiday alert, Oilers Nation citizens. Get ready to crank at the cheer and deck yourself out in the ultimate fan style, because this season, rock around the rink with the exclusive Oilers Nation holiday sweater, decked out in true Oilers Nation style. This sweater's got everything you need to slay your style all season long. Don't wait. Make it an Oilers Nation holiday today. So jingle all the way to nationgear.ca. Score yours before they are gone. Make this a holiday to cheer about. Come on. Look at that thing. It's beautiful. I believe Kennedy made this design. I mean, she makes every single shirt. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was her. This thing looks beautiful right now. And you're a sweater guy right now. I could see you rocking one of those.
I would rock one. I would take this off and put that on right now if I had it in my hands, but I don't have it in my
Nah,
hands.
I wouldn't let you. I'd make you go tarps off for the entire thing. But go check it out.
We're on the playoffs.
nationgear.ca to find out more, and use your code Bordzy10. Remember, I got a discount code now that you can use to get 10% off on Nation Gear for all merchandise. Doesn't apply to events, doesn't apply on Nation vacations. But I don't know, get one of these shirts, get one for yourself, get one for your loved one. 2 birds stoned at once, as Ricky would say in the Trailer Park Boys universe, and they look beautiful. Let's move now to our need to know info, courtesy of Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because only the finest tasting meat products earn that Wilhauk name, made from 100% pure Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, marinated, and smoked to savory perfection. For more info, go to wilhaukbeefjerky.com, where you can find their jerky, sausage, and other products out of their Leduc location. So as I mentioned, Oilers 31st in the NHL in PK percentage. We're feeling that. Kasperi Kapanen, the new addition, who the Oilers claimed off the waivers today, will meet the team in Ottawa this evening. It was funny when the news broke on ONE today. We immediately started looking at flights out of St. Louis and into Ottawa, trying to track what time he could make it. No, the Edmonton Oilers, as we expect, will go 11-7 this evening, as we got confirmation from our boy Tony Brar that Victor Arvidsson will be out yet again with an undisclosed injury. Who knows? Confirmed he's still out day to day and will go 11-7. It's been a very weird one so far, Walls, because I don't know what's happened to him. I remember in one of the previous games, I think it was Tuesday against the Islanders, I remember he kind of went into the boards a little bit awkward, but nothing that stood out to me. And you look online, there's nothing there. Who knows? We'll have at least Kasperi Kapanen if this becomes a little bit longer term. And the Oilers, they went 11-7 last night. They're going to do it again tonight. How the deep pairings worked out last night, or the minutes, I should say. 22-30 for Bush. Yes, he led the team in ice time. There's nothing you can do about it. 21 for Ekholm, 18 for Brett Kulak, 15 for Troy Stetcher, who's actually moved up because he was in the single digits before, 13 for Ty Emberson, 12 for Dermott, and 11.58 for Josh Brown. So I would have thought going into it, we were going to see the top 4 of Ekholm, Bush, Kulak, Emberson all play 20-plus minutes, and the rest of these guys play single digits. Wasn't the way it worked last night, so we'll be curious to see how that goes tonight. And if you want to feel good about anything, feel good about Connor McDavid playing the Ottawa Senators, because in 24 career games, he has 42 career points, 11 goals, 31 assists. His running mate, Leon Draisaitl, 34 points in 24 games, 16 goals, 18 assists. And that'll happen when you go 9-0 against the team in the Canadian division. Finally, Stuart Skinner, he gets the start for the Oilers after Calvin Pickard. He was pretty good last night. He was solid yet again. That is always the word of the day when I describe Calvin Pickard, but Stu, he's 2-0-1 in his last 3, which is nice. That's 5 points. But all 3 of those games, he's had a sub 900 save percentage. Looking to turn that around this evening. On the Senators' side of need-to-know information, as you just said, they're in their own smaller decade of darkness as they haven't made the playoffs in 7 consecutive years, the longest drought in their team's history. Now, 17 games in, I think the Senators look good-ish. I think you could say 11th in the East, 8th in terms of points percentage. They've scored 55 goals, 17th in the NHL. They've allowed 53 against, which ranks 11th. So I think if you looked at those numbers, you could qualify them as mid instead of bad. Now, Tim Stützle leads the team in points. He's got 21 in 17 games, having a very good year so far after last year was a big disappointment. More of that a little bit later on. Brady Tkachuk, going to have to keep your eyes on him when he is on the ice, and also keep your head up when he's on the ice. He leads the team with goals, with 9 of them right now, 4 of which have come off the power play. And that power play ranks 6th in the NHL right now at 27.6%. Their PK is 20th at 78%. That's a pretty damn good power play. So the Oilers penalty kill, while they've been hot lately, this is going to be a very good test. And finally, Linus Ullmark, the former Boston Bruin and Vezina Trophy winner, he gets to start tonight. He's currently got a 4-4-1 record, 2.77 goals against, with also a sub 900 save percentage. He's got an 890. His career against the Oilers, 3-2-1 with an 897 and a 3.02 goals against average. Curious to see how that goes. We'll have more on the way that the goaltending is shaped so far this year for the Ottawa Senators, and that Anton Forsberg. There's all this discussion of Ullmark coming in to take that crease and be the number 1. Well, Forsberg has done his job to make that a goaltending controversy, if you will. Let's go now to our Sherwood Ford Giant storyline, brought to you by Sherwood Ford the Giant. Tired of dealership hassles? Well, Sherwood Ford in Sherwood Park is all about convenience and upfront pricing. With their Giant Deal program, get clear, no-nonsense pricing on new and used Fords online, with all incentives included. Plus, enjoy the ease of mobile service, free pickup and delivery, and same-day or next-day service appointments. So let me know in the chat if you've got any storylines this evening. I see the storyline of the chat right now would be optimism. I'm liking the energy from today's pre-gaming, because last night on After Dark, I don't think there was an ounce of optimism in there, even from myself. My storyline, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, is just don't embarrass me tonight. Don't do what you did to me last night. And yes, the Senators are having a respectable season. Yes, they have good forwards who have offensive capabilities. Yes, they have a good goaltender in one Linus Ullmark. But, dude, I don't care. You are the Edmonton Oilers. And after the effort that you gave last night, there is no excuse to not come out highly motivated, shot out of a cannon to start this game. You're on the road, final game of a 3-game road trip. You want to wrap this one up in a neat little bow, get your asses back to Edmonton. And it's got to come in all facets, right? Can you deliver a strong power play? Also, shout out to Sherwood Ford the Giant again. Just, they're the Giant, brother. Give it up for them. We love them. But it's right. Can you deliver a strong power play while delivering a strong penalty kill, while getting good goaltending, while being smart 5-on-5? It's all of those things. So far this year, we have seen the Oilers. They can get some of them, maybe not all of them. And the fact is, it's cliche. I need a 60-minute effort tonight. We've blown third period leads the last couple of games. Just be consistent and walk out of the Canadian Tire Center with a win over a team that, frankly, you should beat. And if you want to be a Stanley Cup contender that we continue to say that the Edmonton Oilers are, you go out and you dummy the Ottawa Senators.
Yes, I agree 100%. And my storyline is probably going to be a strong third period, right? That's, I think, where we've kind of been falling apart a little bit more. And I know we got shut out the other night against Montreal, but against the Leafs, third period, I believe it was against the Golden Knights, third period struggles there. So I just think ultimately we need to be better in the third period. And I also think that comes down to goaltending. when Evan Bouchard has a gaff, I would like to see Stuart Skinner bail him out a little bit more.
And maybe not be half out of his net on a breakaway.
I don't like to pick on the goaltending, but for me, it's getting a little annoying because I think there are moments where we need more. Like Stuart Skinner is making huge, nice saves in the first and the second period. But when it comes to those final moments, when your defenders are probably not playing it to their best capabilities, I want Stuart Skinner to bail us out a little bit more. Is that wrong for me to ask?
No, you need to make the save. He's making some saves, but it's the save. Now, I get it. Don't get me wrong here. Like, he has made saves, and that's so much easier said than done. He has provided some of those big saves in first and second periods, but 60 minutes. No gaffes tonight. Let's back check hard. Evan Bouchard, I am specifically looking at you. And Brett, let's now take a look at the Edmonton Oilers' projected lineup this evening. We got late breaking info that Victor Arvidsson will be out again. So it does look like the Oilers are rolling the same lineup that they have in the last couple games. Top line, RNH with 97 and Zach Hyman. Second line, Vasily Podkolzin with Leon Draisaitl and Corey Perry. Third line, Brown Mark featuring Rico with Matthias Janmark, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown. And then your fourth line has Jeff Skinner and
Derek Ryan.
I wanted you to yell it, but that's
sorry.
a little, I mean, hey, you missed your opportunity.
It sounds like his season so far. It's been quiet.
Ooh, was.
Sorry.
Troy Stecher is not playing the 12th forward. He is the 7th defenseman, technically, as we look at these pairings. Ekholm with Bush, Brett Kulak with Troy Stecher there. Well, I think that's Ty Emerson right there. Got a little mixed up. Travis Dermott with one Josh Brown. Josh Brown last night, I said he played just under 12 minutes, and I wouldn't describe it as good. I wouldn't describe it as the worst thing I've ever seen, but he struggled. I said he was very reminiscent of watching Vincent Desharnais, big body, physical, battling in the net. I thought he maybe was going to try and get in a scrap at one point, but when the puck is on that dude's stick, get it off of his stick because I don't want it there. I don't trust him to make those decisions. One man that we do have to trust with the puck on his stick and making decisions is one Evan Bouchard, and he has been a hot button topic to say the least for the last couple of weeks here in Edmonton last night. Not his worst game ever, but a rough performance, none to say the least there. He turned the puck over in the offensive end that ended up in the back of the net for the first goal of the game, and it's right, it's the eye test. He just continues to play lackadaisical, and I can't just keep sitting here trying to talk about why aren't you skating hard on a back check? My head literally might explode, and I love Evan Bouchard, but the give a shit meter right now is at an all-time low. He is fighting it through and through, and I don't know, Jay had a great point today when we were talking to Louis DeBrusque, and he says he's overthinking it. You can look at Bouchard on the ice and see that he is thinking a little bit too hard, and Louis' point was you got to make clear, concise, fast decisions, trust your instincts, and let it rip, because we've seen Evan Bouchard do this a ton in the past, and I don't know, the Oilers right now, there's a lot of people out there, fans, talking about, well, you need to bench Evan Bouchard, sit him in the press box. That's never going to happen. Now, you could sit him down for a couple shifts here or there, but the Oilers back end is dealing with so many injuries right now. Darnell Nurse is out, and it's a weak defensive back end to say the least, even to start the season. So we do need Evan Bouchard. Can you bench him for a full game? No. Could you sit him down for a couple shifts to try and get that message through? Sure, if the opportunity presents itself, but when you're down in games needing goals, sorry, Evan Bouchard's probably the one you want on the ice to try and get that done. I don't know. My question to you is should Bouchard be held a little bit more accountable? We're seeing Jeff Skinner being put in the doghouse for weeks now. Evan Bouchard maybe gets set down for some shifts. Should it be 5v5? Who knows? Maybe. Could you take him off the top power play for maybe one opportunity and see if, take the kid's toy away and see what he does after that, if he really cares? Because just overall, I think a message needs to be sent to a degree. But like Louis said on our show today, Bouchard knows when he's putting pucks into shin pads. He knows when he's not back checking. So I don't know. Where do you come out on Bouchard and being held accountable?
I think he has to be to an extent, but I think it depends on the situation. You also have to consider how the rest of the lineup is playing because, for example, you bench Bouchard. Are you putting Troy Stecher up on the top?
Exactly, right? Like, I don't...
Are you putting maybe someone on their offside with Ekholm, right? Like, you got to consider that. And we know the chemistry that Ekholm and Bouchard have. But and you got to wonder, what is Paul Coffey saying to Evan Bouchard, right? Especially after games, because Paul Coffey's seeing this happen in live action. You would think Bouchard at this point would have got the message that you're screwing up and it's costing goals against. It's very interesting. I don't know why the coaching staff hasn't been a little bit more on him, and maybe they are behind the scenes in the coaching room, in the video room, right? It's so... Like, I love Evan Bouchard. We all know what he did last year. He was putting up 80-plus points. He was, crucial in the playoffs, scoring clutch goals. He is more than just a defenseman who has a nice shot. He does a lot of good things right. He moves the puck up the ice very well, transports the puck, and those are good things. Unfortunately, when those gaps happen, it basically erases everything you've done, right? So it's tough to say. Is he playing lazy? For sure. He needs to show more effort when defending the puck. When the puck's not on your stick, you need to do better. And I don't know why he hasn't gotten that message, or is there something that we're missing? Is there a more advanced side of the game that I don't understand with Evan Bouchard? Right?
I think it's just that beggars can't be choosers right now. And Bouchard, while he's playing with some of those horrible gaffes, you need Evan Bouchard on the ice, and you live by the sword, die by the sword. Right now, though, even his offensive game isn't really there.
I think with Evan Bouchard, there's a lot of tunnel vision.
Oh, yeah.
Because he knows how good he is with the puck. He knows he can make good plays with the puck. And I think I'm starting to go back to Toronto when he had that turnover. That wasn't a case of tunnel vision, because he saw the player up the boards like, oh, I can get to this. But he totally ignored what was in front of him. He ignored the Maple Leafs players in front of him. So it's just, I hate to say the word, you got to be a little patient with him, right? Like,
no, you do.
What do you do with him? Because
you sign him right now, because his value will never be lower.
Yes.
Fact. I see number one fans in. He says, skate, skate, skate. That is what Coffey is saying. Can only imagine what that talk is like in the dressing room afterwards when they go, you didn't think to move your feet? You didn't think to take a single hard stride? And it's not once, it's not twice. It's been a couple times this season. Brad, we've had discussion earlier where, and I don't even know where I come out on it, but a lot of people online, specifically one, first time I've ever said his name on the show, Kyler Miyamoto is Evan Bouchard's number one defender, and he's coming at his partner, Matthias Ekholm, nonstop, because if you've been online, you've seen it all. Bush gets all the hate, and Matthias Ekholm doesn't get a ton. Now, Bush, his hate is 100% justified because of those things we just talked about, the lackadaisical effort, not moving your feet on back checks. Now, Matthias Ekholm, he is getting a little bit up there in age. I think you'd say the boots have slowed down, but he still brings that physical defensive nastiness out there. And I guess the argument is that they're partners. That's a 50-50 split. And if they're both on the ice for goals against, Ekholm needs some of that blame. I'm curious, Brett, where do you come out on that?
I see what you're doing here. You threw it to me.
You're the one who had the idea.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. No, and sure, I'll be the whipping boy for this. I don't think Matthias Ekholm has played as well as we expect him to. It's just
he's not Bush level, but
no. And there are times where you see a goal and maybe Matthias got outworked, or he was in the wrong spot. Yeah, 100%. And do I also think that's a byproduct of having to compensate for some of the stuff that Bouchard has done? Yeah, absolutely. But there's also been times where, like last night, the goal against the Brendan Gallagher goal, that was off of a giveaway from Matthias Ekholm behind the net. There's things, and then people are talking about it's Bouchard's fault. Well, no, it's Ekholm. Ekholm gave that puck away.
The second goal, Ekholm just comes out and waves his stick at Caden Gooley, and it doesn't go in.
I can't remember what game this was. I think it was the Islanders game where he falls down right in front of the net. And I was one to support him and defend him in you're trying to take that passing lane away, but it looked lazy when you're watching it, right? There's just been a lot of moments this year where you sit there and go, that wasn't the right play from Ekholm. That wasn't this or that. Again, good defenseman, great defenseman. Love having him on the team. I'm not sitting here and going, oh, we
gotta be fair. Like we gotta
exactly. It's. I don't think he's played to the standard that the Edmonton Oilers need to right now, and that can be said for a lot of guys on this team. And just kind of getting back quickly to that Bouchard point too. And I'm not sure if this goes with Ekholm as well, but with Bouchard, he's a slow starter. We've had this conversation for the last 3 years with Evan Bouchard, and then all of a sudden he picks it up. So is it annoying, frustrating? Yes. Is it evidently bringing down Matthias Ekholm as well. Set your lineups.
Fantasy lineup.
I need to do that too.
Shit, so do I.
I just think that there's, again, not saying that you need to praise patience, excuse me. But I think it'll work itself out eventually.
Yeah, I do. It's funny you say that because Lance put in the chat earlier. He goes, didn't we have the same Bouchard discussion last year at this time? You're damn right we did. You know another guy we had the same discussion about? Well, it was one, Stuart Skinner. So, Brett, let's get into here our starting goaltender report brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Hit the trails this winter and the waves next summer. As fellow hockey fans, the team at Sherwood Power Sports Marine are helping Oilers Nation fans gear up. They're home of an ATV for just $50 bi-weekly, or cruise the open water for next summer for as low as $105 bi-weekly. Sherwood Power Sports Marine are hockey fans helping hockey fans get ready for their next adventure with motorcycles, quads, e-bikes, and boats. They got scooters. They got everything. Oh, timeout, timeout. The lines changed again.
Did they?
The lines changed again, courtesy of our pal Bob Stauffer. Give Brett a minute here. He'll get the visual for you all, so I'll just describe it to you. Whoa, wasn't ready for this. Top line, Vasily Podkolzin, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. We're going supernova with Podzilla on the wing. And I like the look of this second line. Jeff Skinner, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins centering that second line with one Zach Hyman. Third line stays the same. Brown Mark featuring Rico, Janmark, Henrik, Connor Brown with Derek Ryan and Corey Perry on that fourth line. Key pairings, they're going to stay the same as Stuart Skinner. So, whoa, let me know. We're going nuclear tonight, Supernova. Hell of a way to close out the road trip, I guess. When you need a win, you're going to go for it. Okay, let's start with the top line here. We got to get in those goalies. Stuart Skinner gets the start. Linus Ullmark also gets the start. But Podkolzin joining Connor McDavid and one Leon Draisaitl. I kind of like it in the sense of keep it simple. Bang bodies, retrieve pucks. Do the same things you've been doing with Leon Draisaitl and go to the nets. Woz, what's your thoughts on Pods on that line? I mean, he plays a Zach Hyman light type style of going in front of the net with more physicality. What are you thinking right now?
Well, he doesn't have a goal yet. So
tonight, Bennett?
Please, if there's going to be a night, it's got to be tonight, especially against the Ottawa Senators and their goaltending issues. Yeah, I'm kind of more curious about that second line. That looks a little bit of fun, but Nugent-Hopkins at center, I think you said
it does look fun. That does look fun.
Nugent's more of a winger nowadays, not really a center, but we'll see. Podkolzin, though, the reason I think he's on the top line is because the coaching staff has a lot of faith in him. Yep. They like his work ethic. We've heard that.
You know what you're going to get with Pods every time he's on the ice.
Exactly. At practice, I think Bob Stauffer said it. He's usually the first or last player off the ice. He's a hardworking player, and the coaches are going to reward that. Jeff Skinner, I'm hoping they give him a nice amount of ice time. Don't punish him just for maybe a poor back check. But also Ryan and Perry, goddamn, that's a slow-ass line.
Well, it already was before when they were on it.
Geriatrics.
I like it. You said the second line. That's fun with Jeff Skinner, Nugent, Hyman. Man, now I want to change Bordzy's bankroll and go back to Jeff Skinner shot prop because it's plus 190 tonight, and he hit it last night. Okay, might have to call an audible when we pull that graphic up. Good thing I didn't place my bets yet. Brett, just quickly here, your thoughts, last minute, late breaking news with the new look top six.
I like Podkolzin on the top line because I think it tells you how much, again, they trust him with Leon specifically. And I think that's telling you that he's getting those puck battles and board battles to Leon and letting him do his job. Now he has McDavid to also do it. I could very much see a Podkolzin point at some point in this game.
Come on, baby. It's tonight. Avi's in and said, at least it's different from last night. Looks better. Yep, well said. Talking goaltenders, though. Brett, can you pull up the tail of the tape between the two of these bad boys, Linus Ullmark and Stuart Skinner? And damn it, they still have the better statistics. Are we ever going to get yellow on our side? Is Ullmark 277 with an 890 and Stu, those numbers less than stellar. I'm sure the magnifying glasses are going to be out once again, overreacting to everything that Stu does, every movement in the crease. And yes, he's in a little bit of the doghouse right now with the fans for good reason. But Woz, you showed me some numbers earlier of why Stuart Skinner, you have all the confidence in the world in him that he's going to turn it around as the season rolls along.
he can rebound. And right now, look, no sugarcoating. The goaltending needs to be better from Stuart Skinner. Yes, we're 19 games into the season, but the Oilers' goals saved above expected is bottom last in the league at a negative 10.9. You can't gloss over that. Interestingly enough, around this time last year, Stuart Skinner was second last in goals saved above expected with a negative 8.45. So this time last year, Stuart Skinner was not playing great hockey. However, it was around this time last year where the Oilers started to turn around. Remember that game against Washington?
Game 18, I think it was.
Exactly. And on January 19, 2024, Stuart Skinner had the best GSAX since December 30th, 2023, with a positive 9.4. The goalie second there was Connor Hellebuck. And so basically, it was around this time last year where Stuart Skinner started to perform a lot better. So did the Edmonton Oilers. That's crazy how that works. Come February last year or last season, Skinner was viewed as a top Canadian goalie. Now, I understand that was last year, but we're seeing kind of similar signs where in November, Stuart Skinner did not have very good numbers at all. And at some point, I think in December or after a bad loss, it just starts to go up and up and up. And
this is it.
Yes.
This is where it happens.
This is where we have to really, truly see what Stuart Skinner is.
Maynard, pass out the Kool-Aid.
I'm just saying, like,
more for me.
I'm saying Stuart Skinner has not been good this year. I think that's fair. He hasn't been consistent. There have been some okay games here and there, but I think the next couple games is going to be a good sample size to see where we are with.
Number one fan says, say Hellebuck 10 times fast.
Hellebuck.
Don't actually do that. Mackay and Dry says, oh shit, I forgot the game started at 5. No, we're pre-gaming at 4 p.m. And Lance, this made me laugh. He said, I can't lie. Seeing that lineup just makes me think, quote, fuck, I love the Oilers. Man, we got a good team. It's how they pull you back in. You know how they do what they do. Linus Ullmark on the other side. Okay numbers this year. His backup, Anton Forsberg, has better numbers. Controversy, anyone? Who knows? Let's move along and take a peek at the Ottawa Senators lineup brought to you by Greta Bar-Yag. You know him. You love him. My favorite spot in the city. Proud partner of Pregame with Bordzy. We're going to be there all year for our watch parties throughout the season. Great spot for pre or post game whenever you want to get a little silly or get some great food, man. They have underrated food. I say it all the time. Here, though, is your projected lineup for the Ottawa Senators this evening. Top line, Brady Tkachuk with Josh Norris and Ridley Gregg. Then it's Claude Giroux with Tim Stützle and Drake Batherson. It's a pretty sick top 6 when you look at that. There's a lot of skill, a lot of firepower. Third line, Michael Amadio with Shane Pinto. You know he's got money on Bet365 tonight. And David Perron. Nick Cousins, fourth line with Adam Gaudette and Zach McEwen. Your deep pairings, Jake Sanderson with Artem Zub, Thomas Chabot with Nick Jensen, and Tyler Clevin with Travis Hamonic. Brett, we got to go quick here. So it's actually perfect I have you here. You also really liked that joke. I know you did. You produced Coming In Hot, our Ottawa Senators show here at the Nation Network, hosted by one Brent Wallace. Ever heard of him? Wally Silver Fox. Tell me about this team, about this roster. A lot of noise this summer because Josh Norris is actually fully healthy for once, centering that first line. They got a new goaltender. Wrap it all up in a neat little bow for me.
A lot of new guys on this team, as you mentioned already as well. David Perron, Michael Amadio as well added on that back end too.
Where's
with Nick
Gregor?
Jensen. Gregor actually
injured, right?
and not playing as well. So. But also added Nick Cousins too. And as I mentioned with Nick Jensen too, this is a fun young team, I think, in the next coming years. I will be interested to see who ends up staying because they have a lot of young defensemen. Sanderson, Chabot is getting up there, but still that's the guy that you want to kind of build around. Tyler Clevin is young as well. Carter Yakemchuk almost made the team out of training camp this year. So I'll be interested to see. My two guys to watch on this team tonight are Artem Zub, who I love Artem Zub. He's such a pain, but just a really great hockey player. And the other one is going to be Ridley Gregg. Ridley Gregg is tough. He is a tough customer. We saw it in the cross-check in the empty netter against Toronto. Ridley Gregg is going to be somebody we hate watching play against the Oilers tonight. but I'm really looking forward to the way that Ridley Greig, and the fact that he's on that top line is pretty interesting to see. So going to see a lot of Ridley Greig tonight.
Yep. Remember World Juniors? He was a good guy. And then, of course, I hear that name. All I think is empty netter, clap bomb right into it. An all-time moment in NHL history. That was sick. Shout out Morgan Riley. I mentioned Tim Stützle. He's having a great year so far. After not a great season last year, man. I think how many goals did he score last year? 18 in 75 games. 2 years ago, he had 39. Well, right now he has 7 in 17. So hopefully keep on cooking, but not tonight.
And quick shout out to fellow Nation Network member David Perron, who shows up on Coming in Hot.
Our coworker.
Yeah. Hey, look at that.
Okay, everybody have a bad game with David Perron out there tonight.
Yeah.
You're going to be +1. That's the only stat I'll give you. Let's move now to Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is a proud partner of Pre-Gaming with Bordzy. Open an account today and bet on a huge range of markets, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today and use the code NATION. Waz, what does that spell?
Nation.
Bang, all capitals to be extra safe. Throw that in. So tonight, and now I'm going to throw in an extra one just on my own personal. So my first option is going to be Nuge over 2.5 shots on goal +145. He had 5 shots on goal last night and was finally looking ready, willing, and capable of shooting the puck and getting it on net. My second one, number 97 to get 2+ points. I mentioned those numbers to you earlier off the top of the show. McDavid, 42 points in 24 career games. I like him to get 2 points, -110. And finally, I had this before they were going supernova. Number 29, the man who leads the NHL in goals, or he's tied with the lead. Number 29, Leon, anytime goal +140. But now that I'm seeing Jeff Skinner's on that second line, I think I'm going to go in here just confirming what it is right now. Skinner, shots on goal for 3 of them, +190. I'm in, baby. I'm going to roll with that. Last night he had 3 and hit +132. Waz, you look at these 3 bets. Which one do you like the most?
I'm going to go with 97, 2+ points, -110. Not too bad. I'm going to follow you on that one. I'm going to go with that and add a little bit more into that, but that's just me.
We ride at dawn, brother. We ride at dawn.
Exactly.
Brett, when you look at these 3, what do you like?
I really like, and because I have a wicked spider going on.
An 8-leg parlay for those who don't understand.
Why do you do it?
Yes, sir. So
Excuse me?
it's because I have number 97 2+ points, because as our video showed this week was Connor scores a lot against the Sens.
That's true,
and gets a
actually.
lot of points, so I have that going. Do you want me to talk about this spider that I got, or do you want to?
Yeah, no. Tell me about the spider.
Cool. So what I've got going on, and obviously before the lines came out, I got Pod Daddy Jewel Pod at +700 anytime goals. So
Jesus.
what's up?
Like, should I just sprinkle? I'm going to sprinkle.
Yeah.
I'm going to sprinkle.
And I make dumb parlays.
The spider I got oil money line. Got over 4.5 goals total in this game. As I mentioned already, 97 point over 1.5. So that was all I really got. Leon over half a goal. Eki over 2.5 shots. Skin dog. He gets over 2.5 or over 1.5 shots as well.
Goalie, though.
Boosh Daddy.
That's a hell of a spider, brother.
Yeah, hold on.
This spider has a spider on top of the spider.
Listen to this one.
Play next.
Boosh over 1.5 shots blocked. Cash. And also another one here. Skin Daddy. Last one of it. Under 27.5 saves.
People are in here, they're saying bet responsible, Brett. That's what we always say.
Yes.
Only bet what
Bet.
you're willing to
If
lose.
that hits, you got to buy a
My
spider.
boy Brett's not getting crazy with anything,
Nope.
but you know, it's fun, and we love our friends from Bet365. Maynard says, please stop calling him Skin Dog. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. Skin Dog. Lance Kane, he's in with a super chat, and he says, don't be wasting your money on stupid things, Brett. The irony, I love it. Lance, I love you. That's so funny. As he gets
That goes to a
$2.
good cause.
Hey, it goes to a good cause. It will go to a charity. It does not go to our beer fund, which you can get a couple of these bad boys courtesy of our friends at Odd Company. We've partnered up for the new Nation beer Nation Beer Everyday Lager. You didn't have the picture up. I tripped over my own words that don't exist. For game day and every day, go check them out. 2 locations in the Edmonton area, or go check out liquorconnect.com. Find out which local liquor store is carrying these bad boys and get yourself a couple of them. The logo's incredible. The can has so many Easter eggs on it. It's absolutely delicious. It's 473 milliliters, so it's a tall boy. You're getting a little bit more bang for your buck. I saw some guys in the chat today saying, man, this Nation Beer is perfect during an Oilers hockey game. And it is. They are delicious. They go down smooth. So finally, before we roll out of here, we know the drill. Score predictions, anytime goal scorer. Go.
I will go basic Connor McDavid.
What?
Basic Connor McDavid.
Okay, I need a score
that's the
prediction
word.
and a person. to
Spit
score.
it out.
Oh,
brother.
sorry. I'll go 5-3 Oilers.
He didn't have that written down, so he couldn't read it right off his laptop. Brett, what about you?
I think it's going to be a heavy one. I'm going 5-0 Oil. And Pods, anytime goal scorer. Why not, brother?
There you go. I'm going to say 4-2 Edmonton Oilers. Stu allows 2, has an above 900, and 1. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, screw it. Let's get one. He's been ripping the pill. I got him on the shot prop. I wasn't super confident to bet on it. I liked him to just get the shots, but he's going to need to find a way. Also, I like this from Mackay and Dry. Brett, 365. Shout out to all of our sponsors, Shirt for the Giant Shirt, Power Sports Marine, Greta Bar Yegg, Bet365, Odd Company, Wilhock Beef Jerky, and people, while you're buying one of those sweet Nation Gear holiday sweaters, why don't you double down and get 2 sweaters? Get For the Love of the Game, help out support Jasper Minor Hockey. As we all know, Jasper, they got ravaged by the fire this summer. I believe it was in July. It's taken down what? I think it says 30% of all structures, their rinks out of commission. Hockey teams going to be playing every game on the road and practicing with very limited facilities throughout this. So we're fundraising to help them out. Go on nationgear.ca. Get one of these shirts. They come in t-shirt. They come in crew neck. They come in gray. They come in black. And as I mentioned earlier, use the promo code Bordzy10. And I do believe it will work on these bad boys. Get this sweater. Get a Christmas sweater. Do what you can to help pay back in the community. And that'll do it for us for pre-gaming. We already went 2 minutes over schedule, but that's okay. That's what we do here. I'm sure the puck is not dropped. The 3 of us will be live right here on the Oilers Nation YouTube right after the game, hopefully breaking down an Edmonton Oilers W, or it's going to get spicy again in this chat. I did tell some of the boys, BM and Tyler, if things weren't to go our way tonight, they might be joining us on After Dark, because I think it's going to get spicy, and I want everybody to experience the spicy chat. I love you all. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds, and I'll see you right here, right after the game. Peace out, everybody.